Welcome to tonight's planning meeting, everyone, and those that are watching at home or on their devices. Do we have apologies for any absence tonight?
We do. We have apologies from Councillor Mahi, Councillor Jane Moore, Julie, Councillor Buckingham.
Thank you very much. Do we have any declarations of interest?
Just normal. In case I won't comment on stuff in case I case it.
I can't remember what item it is. That's my thing won't load, but it's 50 Wells Street.
Okay.
Appeal. On the on the representative for the occupier.
Thank you very much. Are we all in agreement with minutes from the last meeting?
Yep.
Meeting, yes. Or the 2nd of February and 23rd, yes?
Yeah.
And just a note here about the Buckingham plan, the neighbourhood plan, development plan, Buckinghamshire local plan, to know that the full council response to the Buckinghamshire local plan has been submitted.
Just to, because of the site allocations that we had so late a knowledge of, I've established through my questioning that in 2022 I started questioning. In 2023 we established there was a subgroup working on it. That subgroup then was abolished somewhere in 2023, and between 2023 and today those sites that were in the allocations was just cabinet members and senior planning officers. There was no involvement with board members on those or consultation. Yes, there was consultation on the early one on what might go into the plan, but it seems quite strange because when it went out, we had sites as members only one side of the weekend, and it went public on the other side of the weekend, and we were told it was confidential, and it went public on Tuesday or Monday. And the in between that, they had a discussion about the letter from the minister telling them to move on with it. So the thing that I'm really concerned about, and nothing we can do about it because the sites are what the sites are, is that it's a Buckinghamshire plan prepared by a few people in Buckinghamshire, and I feel that they should have done the plan by 2025. And if they'd done it by 2025, it would have been under the MPPF 2023, and they didn't. They put right, and then all that time between 2023 and today, there's some legal reason they believe why members were not consulted about, but members are consulted confidentially about lots of things. And I just feel this is such an important issue. The discussion that Anya and I had together on the quote that they gave us a meeting, yeah, they did. It was half an hour to put over things that you wanted or concerns about the allocations to sites in a large area of the Buckingham ward, which I think half an hour could have been done off just one area. So I'm quite concerned about it. So I have asked and I've got no answer. But the important thing now is infrastructure, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think at some point, the view of this town council and Buckinghamshire Council might be different, but if we can't have an input into the infrastructure to it, if it's the same small group of people which are putting together, the likelihood that I would know what Marlow needs in Buckingham would be quite slim. Yeah. I might have a reasonable good idea what Buckingham needs and some idea what Winslow needs, but I definitely wouldn't know that. So my worry is that this infrastructure process, I understand, has to be done. So we may get to look at it at the back end. And coincidentally, since Anya and I met them, we've had nothing back. Nothing back by way of what the input we put in, and there wasn't anything we disagreed on. So I'm quite worried about the whole process. But the good side of it is our neighbourhood plan is starting to be quoted in planning terms. So that's great, because until such time as this is whatever, it carried weight. So I don't know what members feels appropriate for that, but at some point, I
I think
think,
with that, as you said, we've got to bring that up again at some point. This is just a note tonight.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yes,
I'm just saying that I think
the
that,
points you made and
but
take note of those.
because of what we put in the representation, which Sheena done a brilliant job.
Yeah.
I think that at some point we need to discuss that again, because if we don't get the infrastructure in it, well, quite frankly, it'll be a biscuit on steroids, won't it?
Right.
As you say, this is to note, full response to Buckinghamshire local plan. Full council's response has been submitted.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to preempt any further, consultations that may or may not happen.
Okay, I shall move on to point
Yeah.
5 then. John?
I just have to know whether our plan has been officially made yet. That we've got a deadline for that.
Deadline was Friday last week. I haven't heard of any representation against. I'm waiting for confirmation that it should be now be made.
Okay, there's nothing on the website about it being made.
No, there isn't. As I say, the deadline to challenge was last Friday. And I haven't heard either way from the county yet, but I'm chasing it.
The challenge, I didn't know that's what the period was for.
Yes, it's sort of like an appeal period.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Okay.
All right, thank you, thank you.
Right, can I move on to point 5?
Yeah.
Great. North Bucks Parishes Planning Consortium to receive the minutes of the 18th of February 2026 and discuss any matters for Councillor Try to raise to the next meeting. Now, Councillor Try is not here tonight, and I understand he was unable to attend the last meeting, so the minutes are here. Has anyone got any comments on those minutes? Yeah. Roger.
The only thing that I stood out for me, because I've Anthony sent me a briefer version of them, and it was the concern about Buckinghamshire Council not entertaining 20-mile-an-hour speed limits
Okay.
because it's too expensive. So after we had the letter from Walton Parish Council, I think it's something that hopefully all parishes and town councils will get behind.
Okay, thank you. You've heard, ma'am?
I believe Catherine was, were you at that meeting, Catherine, or not?
No,
No, I'm getting confused with another meeting, sorry.
No, that's that you're thinking of the parishes called.
I am indeed,
Which have
yeah,
been reset,
yeah,
and Jamie and I are going.
okay.
Thank you. So can we move on to 6? Or John, sorry, John.
Just to note, the news in the last day or so is that Buckingham is one of the 7 new towns. They'll get 40,000 new homes.
Yeah.
Probably somewhere on the east, I think.
Okay, thank you. Robin?
I'm assuming they're not taking their city status away from them.
Well, they haven't been given it. Oh, yeah, but it's not health data, it's a point.
Yeah.
There's no
There was never going to be Calvert.
Okay, thank you. So number 6, planning applications. Let's move down to those. And the first one is 45 Hilltop Avenue, and it's installation of an air source pump, heat pump to the rear of the property. Lucy.
Lisa.
Sorry, Lucy.
It's usually Robin does that. I mean, as the heat pump in both the photographs are too loud, then they both fail. So what? There's no other options on our agenda that gives another site for it. So I don't think we could agree to something that it's failed in with the sound.
With the sound, there is an issue with the sound. Has everybody picked that up in the notes? There has been suggestion that, or with these things, that you can build like a wall around them. It's an open wall, but there's some sort of sound buff in it that can take the noise away, because I think it's quite irritating for neighbours. And I think so. Perhaps the suggestion we could make is that maybe the word object is too strong, but so we can put in a recommendation that we can go ahead as long as that sound protection is done.
Need evidence that that would
Yeah,
work though,
yeah.
because then need to come back for us to have another look at.
Yeah,
As it stands, what we have here, I don't think we can support this application because the two sites that are given both fail.
okay. Anyone else's thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree on that. I do find it strange though, because presumably there would be a heat pump supplier
Yeah,
involved in this project and
Yeah.
they would know what the regulations are. And
Yeah.
yet this is coming to us clearly failing the
Yeah.
regulations. So I don't, it just strikes me as odd. I don't know if we've seen this before. I mean, I'm really in favour of heat pumps. It seems
Yeah,
daft that they're coming to it with no choice but to look at.
yeah.
So-
Do you want to object or defer comment until the amended plans are?
Can we do that?
yeah,
We can do that.
Perhaps defer comment until the environmental health and
Yeah,
officer is happy.
I'll propose that.
I'll second that.
okay, should we take a vote then on deferring? That's. Got the numbers?
Everybody, yes. Apart from Robert, abstention, yeah.
Go on to number 2, please. Yeah. Pillow Way, number 24, loft conversion with rear dormer. Plans are quite clear on that one. Good clear drawings. Lisa,
I mean, the windows say that they're not going to overlook anybody's other property, so I'd be in mind to support this.
yeah,
Just a thought that increasing the bedrooms stays suddenly, parking no longer an issue here.
No, it's a long private drive and he faces down it. And he's got a double garage with 4 driveway spaces in front of it.
Yeah.
And they're not fouling anybody because he's the only one.
Fair enough.
got no objections to this one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
propose that.
Yeah,
No objection.
no objections, we take a vote on that?
Who seconded?
Who seconded it, sorry?
I've got Lisa proposing, John as seconding, that's what it
Yeah.
sounded like to me.
Yeah, fine.
Whatevs.
Sorry,
Yeah, whatever. So it's
okay, that's, yeah, Robin,
Okay, item number 3 on this, certificate of lawfulness for the proposed relocation of front door and replacement of permanent entrance with double glazed glass panel, 31 Morton Road with the top opening. Have you seen a picture, the photograph that where the door proposal is? Have you seen there's quite a lot of steps there, isn't there, to where it will be? But there is a ramp to the side, I note.
Yeah.
Any comments on that? Right,
I can see no issue with it. I'm like, you've got to go up those steps or the ramp, whether you're going to a front door,
yeah,
there or there. So I think aesthetically it looks quite
quite clean.
quite nice.
Yeah,
Actually.
it does.
Yeah.
So we're happy to have no objections on that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Fran's proposing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Vote. So you know, abstaining, probably again, from abstaining. So the next one is number 1 Lyme Avenue. Item number 4, demolition of existing conservatory followed by construction of first floor side extension above existing garage, single story, rear extension, garage conversion, and changes to fenestrations. That's a word I've never seen before.
Really not.
No.
It's a brilliant word.
It's a lovely word.
French,
All right.
From
window.
Latin originally.
I know, but
Yeah.
it also is a French.
My,
word.
my dad used to threaten to defenestrate things from our bedrooms if we didn't tidy them.
Roger.
Can I propose no objection to this? If there's been quite a few similar
Yes.
developments on that estate, Lime Avenue.
They're large properties with a lot of space around them, aren't they?
Yeah,
I'll second that.
Okay. Can we have a vote to see that through? Thank you. Now we're down to item 5, 41 Hilltop Avenue. Page Hill, garage conversion, installation of window and internal alterations. Again, I mean, that's got a large amount of parking at the front, hasn't it? It's not uncommon to see garages like this converted now. Roger?
this is common for that estate as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would suggest no objection.
no objections.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Vote, no objections. Unanimous, Robin abstaining. Item 6, 12 Shangles Road, type 1 elder, fell to ground level, type 2 apple, fell to ground level. My understanding from chat I had today is that an elder actually, elder isn't considered a tree, it's a bush. Maybe wrong, but it's usually there. And so, any conversations to have about this?
I think that the elder, it's, yeah, that definitely looks right next to the building.
Yes.
And at that size, it's going to be probably blocking all the full light out completely.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I see a case for chopping down the apple tree. I
Yeah,
mean, we have generally got a issue with food security, and we're trying to get more people growing their own, and just chopping down a tree when it's nowhere near the house seems
Yeah.
unnecessary.
yeah. I was sad about that one as well.
Any comments on that? John?
Yeah, I go along with it. Why fell the apple tree?
And like Catherine's put in there, it's the bird season. So
Yeah.
you shouldn't really be felling trees.
Yeah,
Practice your council law, you can get prosecuted.
So any tree felling that needs to be done would have to wait till August period anyway.
Yeah.
You can do certain amounts if you've checked that there's no activeness.
But felling a tree is different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sounds like supposedly leaving.
I mean, if I had an apple tree, I wouldn't chop it down before I pick the fruit.
yeah,
No.
Is it fruits at all?
I mean, if it doesn't fruit, I think they could have put that in the application as a reason for people
They should have given us the condition.
Right?
I yeah, second or proposal, whatever, that we have no objection to the elder, but we object to the apple.
yeah,
Great. And add a note about no tree works in
Oh,
that.
yes.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that the tree application decisions that are coming through have that paragraph as a standard.
Yeah.
So we're happy with that, for that proposal to go ahead?
I've got Branners proposing, I believe, I wasn't sure that, have I heard a seconder?
I've just said that.
Thank you.
also that's the other, yeah.
Apologies, I did pinch that. What was the reason for objection to the apple tree?
No reasons given for it to go.
Yes, and food, it's a good thing. You happy with that?
Thank you.
Should we take a vote on that, please?
Yeah.
All in favour?
Both on these together.
Abstention.
Thank you very much. And the next one is 22 Morton Road. Various tree works are shown on the application. We'll get that one up, to be honest, for some reason. What's our feelings on
Yeah, there's
that?
no diagram on there, is there?
Any thoughts?
Have we got?
Northern Cyprus is huge.
Sorry, so.
17 metres
Oh.
in Northern Cyprus height.
Yeah.
I imagine there might be a dozen pigeon nests in there.
Right.
Whether that's a good or a bad thing, it's up to person putting the application in, but again, it's a nesting thing.
Yes,
But
it
it
is.
obviously must be so light.
So with regard to that, as it is nesting season, what do we want to convey about that?
I suggest that we put no objection, provided that work doesn't start till the autumn. Something like along those lines.
Proposing that, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll second that.
everyone in favour of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, should we take a vote? If there is any more conversation, Robin, watch that. No, we're going to make a point.
I'm being very good, not me.
Yeah. And we've received notification of the following, which is number 8, Oxley Way, phase 3. Landscaping details for phase 3 of the land's application. Of Oxley Way. Have you had a chance to look at those? You did send some bits and pieces on that through, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just that we have AOPs before, we've had ADPs before, but we've never been asked to consider the deferred conditions. And this is what used to be a DIS application, and we never got in there. That was a thing between the officer and the developer. However, I have had a formal request for consultation. I mean, unless Caroline's noticed something really bizarre in the landscaping, I've got no problem with it myself.
The landscaping as such is fine. I mean, I didn't see anything amiss with it. But the only thing I couldn't see on these online, anyway, these relatively small illustrations, I thought there was going to be a hedge buffer between Gorkett Fields and phase 3. And I couldn't see that.
And we've got that in writing somewhere that it's part of the plan. Or
Years have passed, but
Yeah.
I have a feeling that the buffer was to be strengthened. And and I don't see it on this plan.
Right, okay. Yeah, well done. Robin.
There isn't one on here, and my understanding is that when this went out, the concern from the residents adjacent to the
Yeah,
building,
exactly.
because if you look at them, they're mostly stuff right up against their properties, and I thought there was going to be, there's a narrow space, but there was going to be something to shield the properties from the new development.
On the very original plan, I think the property itself was back onto the boundary.
Yeah.
With the garden on the new development side, but they switched those around, so the garden at least is abutting the Gorkett Field.
But you're right, because we got quite exercised about it, and we had people down here who were very, very upset because it was going to be industrial.
Okay.
The other thing about it is there isn't a drainage plan on here or anything, is there?
No, that's not that. That's a separate condition rather than hasn't come to it.
No.
So do we want to make a note about this hedge and sorry, Ed.
There are various trees and shrubs on the diagram called Wildflower Meadow. Which
On the other side.
Yes.
I propose that we do ask, because this application would have been dates right back to the handover to the unitary. It was that far long ago. It was done under the district.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the outline was. I think the planning application was done under Buckinghamshire Council, because Mark Cole and I went to the strategic sites application. Not that we did it good, but we went to the application. But this is sort of the whole outline plans. I think we should challenge it, because the residents have got you know, I know they're going to say the gardens give some privacy, but those gardens aren't very big gardens, are they? Just say, yeah,
Yeah.
So we've got something in writing there.
yeah.
John,
Yeah, there definitely was a buffer zone between these.
Catherine's got it.
Catherine's got it.
Says landscape buffer.
There you go.
Excellent, well done. So, Roger.
I noticed that there's part of this, I assume, to be discharge of the materials. And not, in my view, they're not what we want in Buckingham. Because the bricks that they're proposing, for example, a purple multi-stop and a rose render, and that's nothing to do with Buckingham. And grey tiles, red, you know, what are these? There's not enough details.
Is that a different thing
No,
to
this
the
is-
landscaping?
Yes, this is getting onto the design
Yeah.
compliance.
Which not on the.
Which is not on your agenda, unfortunately.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Oh, it is, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, sorry.
And also, 25% of houses with chimney stacks is totally wrong. We did ask, I believe, previously that 100% of houses should have chimneys, like in our design code. And I also, from my recollection, the council's urban design officer asked for it as well
Right.
in his comments on the full application. So I think I would propose that we object to the materials and the lack of chimneys. And we need more details of them. I think we need to, they need to tell us what these are, what
Okay.
the manufacturers is, rather than just saying it's a red brick.
Yeah.
Because that could be any colour. So, and also, yes, we need the manufacturer of the brick and the name of the brick, and also with the tiles. Because this just isn't.
I think the snag is that all the illustrations that they have put in their compliance document are from revision A, the original application. Whereas we're on revision C, there have been 2 complete revisions, which included the road layout and the distribution of affordable housing. And you can't comply with something that is not what was on the decision sheet. If the decision sheet says revision C, you should be complying with revision C,
Yeah.
not what you first thought of.
Yeah.
I was really, really cross with some bits, and the fact that they had their bin collection points sometimes a long way over what was allowed.
Yeah.
Now they've changed all the layout. Some of them are even worse, and there's nothing from waste and recycling for revision C drawings on the website. So either they haven't asked, or waste and recycling, and they're usually pretty good because they point out that 33 is quite a lot bigger than 25 metres if you've got to haul your bin that way.
I've said I've asked. One more like that. Yeah.
John.
There is a sugarland called landscape buffer
Yeah.
on the eastern side of the a little bit there.
Yeah.
Which is less than the width of the house there. Just there.
Okay.
Just there. Exactly what it's going to be. Grass, trees, I mean, what's it going to be, this landscape buffer?
Yeah.
What is a landscape buffer?
So,
Should have detail.
can I have a proposal? Can I have a proposal then, please, that we can put down clearly regarding this, obviously, Roger, yourself with materials and things, yeah?
Yeah, I would propose that we object until we receive details of the materials, including doors and windows. Why should all the window frames be white? That's what I would ask as well. And also, we would expect to see 100% chimney stacks on these buildings.
People.
Can we put something in about this? This is seems to be based on the first iteration and not on the third.
Yeah.
I'll say out loud in the meeting, I think it's laziness.
And also the landscape buffer details of it.
Yeah.
Because it's just.
I love the
written down,
landscape.
isn't it?
But nothing in the landscape, as far as we can see.
We want a better description of what the landscape buffer is.
Yeah.
Clarification.
Clarification, yeah.
Ditch, grass.
What trees are going to be planted,
Hedge.
hedgerows.
And we could talk about that. Yeah, okay, so you're proposing that, oh, sorry, yes.
So are we taking comments on all of it or doing it in?
We could take comments on everything.
Yes.
Okay, because I was struck by the bit about the refuse trucks having to, people having to lug their bins a long way along a not very smooth road, probably.
Stand alone for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think
well.
that's,
It's because they will not take bin lorries up block paved streets.
Yeah.
They won't adopt them. They won't. So it's got to be tarmac. So there has to be a bin collection point where the tarmac ends and the block paving starts, and then all the residents have to haul their bins to various points. The drawing doesn't say which plots have to go to which point. What bothers me, I mean, a lot, is that there is a 33-metre bin wall for the disabled housing.
Yeah.
Now, all the ground floors are going to be people with some disability or another. All the upstairs are maisonettes for ordinary people on the housing list.
Yeah.
And it's just wrong that you expect people, I mean, I know you can make special arrangements if you have a real disability that the bin men will come to your door or wherever. But that's not going to work for, if they're going to have rules that say 25 metres absolute maximum and 10 for the bin men, because they've obviously got to do it all day.
Yeah.
And then it's 15, 17 for bin men to a particular time. I think that they're not doing the.
Okay, that's
I mean, you can't have compliance with the wrong thing.
yeah, and that's just going to lead to probably people not disposing of their waste correctly, because it's that easy. It's easier just to go out every 2 weeks and throw everything in the same bin. So they're shooting themselves in the foot.
So shouldn't you have allowed that to? That's what John?
I think it's a whole thing with block paving as well, because that's one thing we know about electric vehicles is they're a lot heavier.
Yeah.
And petrol and diesel ones. You could say other reasons. And I worry that, you know, this as a main thoroughfare, you would get to and from there, to a problem. You know, it may not be potholes, but it could be dips.
Yeah.
And of various kinds. And
Or loosening of materials, so
yeah, all of that. I don't know how much we can affect that now, but I've raised concern about it. And it does match what the problem is with bins. Because that's what causes all these huge bags.
So it's unlikely we can do anything formally about it, but we can raise concern.
Yeah.
Are we happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We write it, they've got to read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And we are sure they're putting proper telephone lines for internet connections, unlike they still. They have done that. Do we know that?
It's not on this particular application.
Okay.
I think the utilities one is still to come up.
Actually,
Okay. Well,
It would be, I mean,
probably not.
particularly with the school where they basically just put a little box with all the ends for the gas and phones and things in it and said, join that up to you when you've got your school.
Okay. So can I confirm we've spoken about materials, spoken about chimneys, spoken about the hedging or whatever that is that boundary line as such, that dividing line. With concerns about the block paving. Is there anything else that we need to put into this?
I think it might be helpful to specifically say it's going to reduce their recycling rates if they go ahead with this, because they're struggling to meet their targets at the moment, and it might make a difference.
More consideration.
Thanks, Sarah.
That's a good one to have a
So can we have a proposal?
was the length of the distance of drawing
Oh,
bins.
Yes, the length of yes.
Yeah, because it wasn't in.
Summary, well, it wasn't in my summary, so but we did write it down, so it's good. So it's good. So can I have a proposer for that, please? Can I have a seconder? Can we take a vote? All in favour? Well, it should be second, isn't it?
I'm abstaining.
Staying, yeah. But what are we moving on to now? Then let's have a look. We're moving on to planning decisions. Am I right there? We're happy with that? Item 7.1, approved, refused and withdrawn. Any comments on it?
Good here, right?
Yeah, I saw that too. Probably one of the best we've seen for a long time. Jane will be very upset she's missed that. We should have a copy of it.
No, it was your chairing that did it.
Yeah. Okay. So are we okay? No one's got any points to make on that. So go to 7.2, planning inspectorate. Land south of Waterman Road, appeal on the grounds of non-determination to receive a verbal report on the appeal hearing on 5th of March 2006.
I'll just say what happened if you like.
Yes, please.
We were there all day, watching the screen,
Yes, please.
listening to the whole morning on policy argument, on both sides, and the whole afternoon of landscape talks. And that was it. And the site visit was the next day, which I attended, and must have walked around for 2 or 3 hours, looking at the landscape from various viewpoints that the parents wanted to show the inspector. So yeah, it was who knows what's going to happen. But there was one interesting viewpoint from White House Farm, because a lot of the landscape argument was that when you look across, you can see the housing, because there's no leaves on the trees at the minute, so you can see badgers and you can see Lace Hill. So you go to White House Farm, you're looking down into a slight valley and then it raises up to badgers, and you can't see badgers there, even though you might just pick out a slight outline of a house, but it looks even now as a row of trees as a backdrop. And when you look down this view, all you can see is the green fields where the housing's proposed, and the sort of the little house in Bourton, what was Bourton Village, the farm and the cottages.
The White Farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't, Dave Veery's farm, basically you can see that, and you can't actually see anything else.
Right.
So I thought that was quite interesting why they chose that viewpoint, because I wouldn't have done. But so the arguments went on. One side said this, the other side said that, similar to landscape. So yeah, I'm glad I'm not having to determine the appeal, because I think it'll be quite a long thing to write out. So it was mentioned that obviously the neighbourhood plan is made, which Buckinghamshire Council fully support in their statement for the appeal. So yeah, so we're hopeful, but it's in the lap of the gods now.
Thank you. And thanks for coming.
Yeah, Robin?
Yeah. Be interested in your site meeting to the original one, because we had a site meeting when we did the application. And did they draw their conclusions to the archaeology which is there? Because when you stand in the site and you walk the site, it's clearly the village. You can see some of the properties which are adjacent to the road. You can definitely see them. By the time of the year that we were there, you can definitely see them properties. And did they walk you down to the bridleway, which runs along the other? Did they just stay on the actual site? When we did the site thing, we walked down to the bridleway, and the access and looking at how it would access the access to town, you know, because of the where it is and the road and how they're going to access. Did they do all that, or did they?
Oh, yeah, no, we went, as I say, it was about 3 hours.
Yeah, so you've done. Yeah, I'm just, you know, I know it's really treading ground, but I wasn't there,
Yeah.
but it was, and it's quite interesting because it isn't how when you stand on the site, it's really quite high. If you look at it on a map, it looks like it looks like level with the river, but when you stand on the site, it's quite a prominent, so it's quite high up there, which I was interested in because we saw it in summer, we were in Leith, which is quite good because I found an apple tree to eat from, but always got to eat, haven't you? And but it was end of autumn, but I was just interested in that because I hope that if it just the appeal goes through, that we do get to look at the archaeology there, because there's some huge interesting features in there which may tell us a bit of the history of Buckingham.
There is a proposed condition for an archaeological survey.
Okay. I have to wait for that report, won't we? Thanks, Roger. Thanks for that. We happy to move on to the next point?
Yeah.
Members are advised that an appeal against an enforcement notice has been lodged for alleged replacement of timber frame windows in a listed building with UPVC double glazing 50 Wells Street. The report did not originate from the town council, but should members wish to make any comments to the inspector on the case, the closing date is 31st of March. But that's really just to note that, and if anyone wants to make a point, Bobby?
Apparently they're not UPVC windows.
Yeah, UPVC.
This is something different, but
Yeah,
Okay, Lisa?
Did the whoever went to go down there, not the inspectorate, but the person from the Shire Council, did they do a site visit? Because the comments from the appellant is that they probably didn't, because there were so many inaccuracies.
Don't know. I mean,
It's quite astounding that they would make mistakes when it's a listed building. They should really be doing a site visit if they're going to say no to something, and potentially have an appeal to fight. No, I don't know.
as I say, because it didn't originate with us, we just got to advise that it's in our manner, so to speak.
So we can't really make comments on that to them about that. Is that what you're asking?
I think the appellant's done a good enough job of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Say I did a site visit this afternoon,
Right.
and aluminium or PVC. I didn't think they looked in place, I have to say, and I know Roger's been acting on their behalf. But I was surprised how they stood out.
Okay. So with this, because I've come across this before, we let it do its course, yeah?
Yeah.
You're in agreement with that, yeah?
Just
This guy?
want to appeal system.
Yes, yeah.
Now, as of the end of this month, the appeal system is changing. It will normally be a written representation if you do launch an appeal, unless the inspector, having seen the paperwork, thinks it ought to be aired as a public hearing or inquiry. We also are not going to have the right to add anything. Normally, when we get advised of an appeal, we get 5 weeks where we can add any extra comments. That's not going to, the inspector is going to look at the case as it stood when the decision was made that's being appealed. So it means that we have to really think about our responses and cover everything.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a bit more work for us, because we've really got to go to all the things that we think might be a problem later on.
Yeah.
Because we aren't, and it's part of the government speeding up of the whole shebang, and we'll see how it works.
to be fair though, you are pretty rigorous when you're putting in comments, so you're,
I mean,
you
I
know,
reflect what's in the meeting, but we might have to start thinking a little bit further out of the box.
yeah, but you are pretty good at that anyway, so yeah, but
You
thanks.
seem to be good.
Thank you. So,
And it's very pleasant when the office approach your response.
so item 8, street naming. We have names, phase 3 and a map. Northern area between Coolcourt Road and Thorn Business Park, Felton bypass, Cowslip End, Olive Blue, Tansy Present, and Watermead Lane, pink and green. Fran.
I think they're lovely names.
Whatever was that?
It's the bit of Osier Way, just off the bypass, by the Swan Business Park.
And it's herbs and.
Yeah.
Buses, was it?
Well, we just continued on this.
Yeah.
We left them with plenty to choose from for the rest of it.
Yeah.
Sure, and there's one to come yet, there's the phase 4, which is the self-build houses that actually go onto the Golcott Road. So
Yeah.
I think they missed the real opportunity for some alliteration though. You know, Buckingham Council Close, Waterman Way, Angelica Avenue, I mean, you know, just shouting at you now, that application. Certainly.
Okay. So item 9, action reports. Any comments?
Yes, I think this is this is the elm tree, isn't it?
Yes.
The Cutton elm on top of Elm Street. I did also go and take a look at this afternoon. And I think they are, I'm right in saying, they're recommending a crown reduction to 4 meters. Crown lift rather to 4 meters. That's far too high. There's a lower branch at about 2.5 meters. It probably does need to come off. But the rest of it should remain intact. And 4 meters is really high up.
Yeah.
Thought that, I mean, you stand there with a tree. They're going to ruin the form of the tree, and
Yeah,
they're going
it's
to,
quite nice.
you know, the tree's got nice form. You know, the reduction of it, personally, I'll just leave it alone. It's not going to grow that quickly, and we've only got one elm as like that, and it's going to get butchered, and any chainsaw you put into a tree is always a risk of infection. So that bough that you're on about leans out because the daylight's taking it off towards the florists, that direction, and but I think that this is far too much work to the tree.
Are we in a position to make a comment about this?
Oh, yes, I haven't returned comments yet, so I was waiting for the meetings.
Yeah.
I think it's far too much. Yeah, I worry that the tree will look ridiculous once they've done it.
It was very bare trunk up quite a long way.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like we're trying to put a double-decker bus under it, is it?
No. You can't
It
park.
appears to cars,
It does.
which a lot of people have commented shouldn't be there anyway, but, and that apart, there is just one branch that is lower than the rest at about 2.5 meters. And that I agree could be removed.
Right.
I believe there's a car that's been parked there for quite some time, which has no tax or insurance. I've tried several times. And so have other
A
people.
large thing stuck on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it needs removing.
The due process, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Robin?
Well, there's not much fresh elm wood going these days.
This is a hybrid, Robin, between a Japanese and an American elm, and it doesn't look a bit like an English elm,
No, I just thinking.
but it's an elm.
Yeah, but I meant the elm wood used to be fantastic stuff to work with, but it's not going to be big enough for that. But you know, you never know. Someone might want to whittle something out of it.
So what do we want to put forward then? There is an objection.
I think that it's excessive. The proposal is excessive.
Excessive,
Yeah, the lower branch could reasonably be taken, but 4 metres is far too high for a tree that size.
Yeah.
Do we need a proposer and a seconder for that?
Yes.
Yeah. Fran proposing? Seconder, please. I just seen who's awake and do it. Are we happy with that? We take a vote, obviously. Yeah. And one abstention. Alright. So 9.2 action reports as per attached list. Any comments?
April Cottage, can we please just keep finding a way?
Yeah,
It's getting
worse,
worse.
isn't it?
I mean, never mind replacement windows, this cottage is a real eyesore in the middle of our high street. It's terrible.
It's so visible, isn't it?
Yes.
Roger.
Can I make a suggestion of that? Is that we, I'm a member of, Save Britain's Heritage. And I was thinking I might, they've asked for you to send buildings that are in trouble. So it might be worth, I might send them out anyway and just say, could you, badger somebody about this?
I've personally seen the harm in that.
No, I think that's a really good idea.
Good idea, yeah. That gets the wheels rolling.
But it probably needs somebody, a body like that, to,
Yeah.
for somebody to sit up and take notice. Whereas if it's like they'll, oh, the town council, here we go again.
Yeah.
And residents, other residents have made comments about it, but they don't
Okay.
seem to be interested
Do
really.
you need photos or are you going to take your own?
I'll borrow yours.
So I'll put it in, the photos to Roger.
Thank you.
And also it might be, because probably the condition's even worse now and none photos are taken.
Carry it out in the morning then.
I know that 6 during the A41, coming back to May's meeting, but I'm not sure when we put it on the agenda was some sort of time, I think. A lot's happened since then, in the sense that we've got all these other possible developments and stuff which are coming in, and in the A41 dueling, the constant drip in the Section 106 agreements for Osier Way was one thing. I remember start figure £800,000 for dueling the A421, and the other study which Mark and Anthony went to the meeting some years ago, which was the whole of the A421, and then that went dead. There was no conversation about it, and they went to the last meeting and we were going to have an update. So I don't know whether we, though it says an update in May, what we're updating in May, because it.
What I'm going to do, Robin, because I have actually read some of this now, I'm going to write a report. And apart from the errors in it and the fact that they haven't kept up with the fact that we've got more developments than they thought of 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
The photographs, I mean, for example, there is a photograph taken from Google so that they can draw on what road things they want to do to it. It's entitled London Road roundabout, and it's only got 3 limbs, so it's clearly the Bletchley Road roundabout. And there's the one that's A413, which is always a bit debatable because the A413 now goes around the edge, is actually the one over by Newton Longville. And that's just the
Where
ones
they
I
had
spotted.
a big accident there, so I think.
Yeah. Just
I mean, the proofreading is rubbish, the mapping is worse, and the photographs are completely irrelevant to what they say they are.
So you're saying you're going to follow up on?
So yes, it's just that it's a big document
Yes.
and it's going to be a major report. So I thought I'd do it for the May agenda rather than this one because we're quite busy enough with stuff.
Yes. Robin.
I think That's not to do with it, but I think it'll help the discussion if we can, because I don't know whether all members have ever seen it, the Buckingham transport study. What I'm saying that when you look at the Buckingham transport study, you haven't seen it. When you're discussing these things, it's quite helpful. It's not the most impressive document in the world, but it does throw you up some quandaries. So you may have seen it, you may not, but I just think that perhaps, I mean, I could find it, but Catherine can circulate it again.
Well, is that the same as the local transport plan, or is that a different?
No, this is
Right.
This is the one where they decided they might possibly at some future point, when they've got loads and loads of money, extend the bypass to cross the river, so at least to the Brackley Road, and round to Stowe Avenue. And we thought, well, what is the point of extending it to Stowe Avenue? Because you can either turn left and go to Dadford, or right down Stowe Avenue, and that leads you back into West Street, so it's actually no benefit. But that's enough. I can incorporate to and make a major thing of it with an evidence. Just for that.
Because one of the things
Because we've got to say something.
one of the things I'm concerned about it is that transport study is actually out of date. When they wrote that transport study was 2015. And it presumed that, it didn't presume that any of the town plan was not drafted as it is now. It didn't have O's your way. It made reference to all future, because it was Chrissy Hines, I believe, was in. No, anyway, okay. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, anyway, I think that I had meetings with it, and at the time we struggled, and it had a really interesting journey, because we put that into the transport plan. Out of our then wanted to take the road out of the transport plan down by Radcliffe, then the actual study actually names it in words as a possibility. And when Catherine worked with us to get that roundabout done on Tinget Road, the reason is it is where it is to get the extra spur going down to Radcliffe, because it was designed to take the spur.
Yeah.
And then Aylesbury did one thing, County did another, and so I think that there could be a really good argument when we review it that it's so out of date now, it needs revisiting with all the things that have changed, especially they're going to be looking at the infrastructure plan for the Buckinghamshire plan. And if that's not going to work, because even with the applications coming forward in the neighbourhood plan we know about, the council had a visit, didn't they? It's all changed. I just think it's and anyway, new eyes looking at something, it's always a good thing, isn't it?
So we agree that that's something to look at near future.
Only 9 years old now.
Yeah, and the town has changed dramatically. It's the population as well, isn't it?
So they're still working on the sport and leisure thing from 2004, and I have no proposals to modify it.
Yeah.
We did ask, are you going to change it for the new plan? No.
I was just going to say that
The town's facilities in 2004 are no longer quite as lacking as they were.
in the it was mentioned at the Peon that June of the A421 is probably going to be the outer part of it anyway.
Yeah.
Probably not going to do it. They're looking now to how the junctions work, so to make them work more efficiently.
That might help.
Yeah, but they've got all the wrong figures.
Isn't going to have anything.
Yeah, so
Okay, that's great.
They also, if I could just say, that having gone through this some years ago, and maybe John remembers how bad it was when we did the Tesco's roundabout. it was an absolute dog dinner, and
Yes.
they moved the, you remember it, don't you? Because they moved it out, because the original roundabout said it was going to be one side, and then in the original plans for Layhill, there was going to be a roundabout at Badgers. Then they realised in construction that they hadn't accounted for the traffic going to Aylesbury. So then they came back and made the roundabout bigger, and then we had this horrendous argument. Catherine helped in, was getting soundproofing for Meadway, Badgers, and that actually out of the developer. We all fought hard for that. So I think that this whole idea that they can do it without talking to the town council it is a no-no, because we could end up with something that doesn't work.
Okay, thank you, Robin. Are we okay? Anyone got anything else in 9.2? Are we okay to move?
I've got one more thing.
Sorry?
I'm looking at the response to item 11. That wanted to come from the Shire, talk to us about section 106.
Oh, yes.
And they've said, well, the person who is a section 106 officer only deals with the payments. And otherwise there's no officer available to speak at meetings. It's not acceptable. We need to speak to somebody about section 106 and where the money's going and everything else. And I think we should go back and say, I'm sorry, then send us a counsellor then. But we need to speak to somebody about this. Decisions are being made. Don't think of the wrong decisions. Or the section 106 agreements have been made and not followed up. There's a whole heap of things that we want to raise with them. Other than that, I would suggest that we go down one day in a shower bank and sit there and wait till somebody comes and talks to us. Not acceptable.
There is a section 106 working group now, and they have taken on.
That's right.
Are they?
Yeah. So that could be covered by that group, couldn't it?
I suppose.
I mean, they would be the obvious person to talk to, because they're the ones who want to change the.
And that's just commenced.
Yeah.
I know it's the shabby response.
Yeah, agree.
Oh, yes. Not required to speak to the public.
Robin?
I absolutely get Don's frustrations. When you ask them the question about when Sill's coming in, you get, yes, we're working on that for it to come in. And they're not giving a specific time frame when that's going to come in, because the time frame very fiscally interesting. Because if they wait the time frame, hang it out, we get a load of houses built. And then they introduce Sill. Well, of course, 25% of the uplift won't come here. It'll go trunkling down to Aylesbury.
We know now that this group is informed, so hopefully some of these issues
We will get it. Roger said we don't get it.
Yeah, I've spoken to a former colleague who is for plans, and they're hoping to go to public consultation on Sill in August.
Thanks.
And as we've got an A local plan, we get all our money.
So they can't bypass it.
No,
That's good.
it's the law.
Yeah, but I mean, we do live in Trumpian worlds. But that said, the point that
We will get it.
I think
the point of the way that we plan these things, I know the working group's meeting, but there just need to be a coming together of the two organisations, because.
But we can't affect that here. So
Well, what I was going to suggest, that if we get to a point where the discontent comes out of the working group and whatever, your main point of access for this is to nominate a person to go down to the Growth and Infrastructure Select Committee and actually ask the question in the public, because they'll have to come back with a response. We don't know what the question is going to be, but I think that we need to keep a watching brief on it. I know Heather's been down to select committees and had a varied response, haven't you? But I think that at least we get the answer in the public domain.
okay. Well, hopefully that group will help us to move towards that in some way. So should we move on to the next point now? And my screen's just gone off, so just bear with me a second. Should have brought a hard copy. That's all right, it's come on now. Just me, I pressed the wrong thing as you were talking.
It's my fault.
Always. Was it snooze?
It's 9.21, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's was fast asleep. 9.21. 9.21. Stephen, update of the environment agency on the Tinwick Road in Tip. John.
Well, it's
Received.
positive.
Yeah.
Actions being taken.
Yeah,
And they're keeping a good eye upon it.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem as if any prosecution is gonna happen, but at least they're gonna enforce it.
Yeah.
Which is ultimately better, I guess.
Yeah, good work on that from a number of people. Robin.
Do you think that I don't know what the council had, the town council had, but there was a lot of communication about it. I think that the fact that action's going to be taken, I would suggest that it's well worth doing something even on social media, because it did upset everybody up there. And it was quite horrendous. The fact that we've actually got some action on that site,
Yeah,
is actually key. I think.
Should we do that note when the action has actually?
Yeah, that we then do a press release on it, because I think it shows the council being proactive.
Yeah, just in case it doesn't get.
No, but we agree that I propose that we do a press release at the appropriate time, Chair.
Okay.
Is that obviously not you say? But I think we need to be seen to be proactive.
Thank you.
Let's say with Robin, for that proposal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do we take a vote on that now?
Yeah.
Yeah, just double checking on that. All in favour?
yeah. Don't tell me to put my hand up. Didn't hear.
Any abstentions? So, number 10, annual statistics 2025. To receive and discuss the statistics for 2025 applications, appeals and other planning matters. John.
Well, there's quite a lot fewer rather applications this year than in previous years. I think is notable. One assumes it's because of the problems with their systems. There may be a backlog that's only sort of jump up for next year. Our hit rate is not good. We opposed 14 and they approved only 8 of those. So our hit rates for opposing something and eventually getting approved, which means the key measure, is quite high compared to previous years. I think it's the highest of all previous years, isn't it? That you've got listed. So that's not good. Either we're somehow not getting it on money, or else they're just not listening to us. Because we're objecting to things, and then they're simply going in the majority cases. So that's not brilliant.
And then Roger.
I don't know whether we can get any indication as to why that's worse, or is it just the way that the cookie crumbles?
How do we get that information?
Well, getting any information out of the planning department is track that out, it's like getting a stone, it seems. We just suck it up of it, but you.
I would suggest that since nearly everything is being decided under delegated powers now, that's the reason that they're going through, because there's not a discussion being had between councillors. It's officers who are sitting there and saying, well, there is no reason to turn it down, sort of thing, because they don't have the local knowledge, and it's a paper exercise, isn't it, rather than anything else.
Roger.
To play devil's advocate, and as having done the job, if something calls for policy, you can't refuse it.
Yeah.
So because somebody doesn't like it, is not a reason to refuse. So I know that I think it's, I think if we're making comments, we need to base them on policy and not on taste
Yeah.
or whether we like it or not. There's a lot of things that when I was a planning officer, I wouldn't like, but you couldn't refuse it because it was according to policy. You could change things, but fundamentally, if something is complies with the policy, then you have to approve it. If you don't, and they win an appeal, then they can actually
Yeah.
ask for costs. So it's you've got to get the balance right.
Thank you. Bobby?
What strikes me on this maybe, but I think of what Roger says is, I would like to see as a percentage of applications decided in an area. Does Buckingham have a larger percentage of its application determined by officers than a comparable area? And I think it's a question that we just write an answer. And they'll say we go, they should keep them statistics. They should be able to answer that question. But I've got a feeling that we don't. I sit and we don't get to discuss any applications in very many in Buckingham, many of the big ones. And I think that other places, there's things being called in over the 4 years preceding or whatever. For very small things go to committee, yet we could have a large development and it doesn't go to committee. And I just think that they should be, Buckingham is not a village. And I think it's been treated as a village area. And if you look at the amount of effort that goes into the South Buckinghamshire discussion, it's quite a lot. So I don't know whether it's worth us asking those questions. We could ask them, or we could do it elsewhere. But
I don't know the answer to that. I'd have to ask better people than me. And can we question that?
We can always ask the question.
I would,
But yeah, the answer is different.
I would have thought that any time that the planning committees in any part of the county sit, there will be minutes of those meetings be published. So that would be quite an easy way to see.
Only the ones that go to committee, though.
Absolutely. But the other information.
I mean, you can see from the table just how many meetings have not been held.
Yeah.
Going back, Chair, my real concern is, and I will keep going on about it, is the Oakley Way estate. No matter how much we tried to get that to be discussed, the drainage and the sewage and the Oakley Way estate, it's even been written back to me saying that the sewage and drainage was not a significant reason to go to committee. We're living in Buckingham, sewage and drainage probably is quite significant. And the situation under the Constitution is the chair, and then was vice chair at the time, were involved in these discussions, and nothing went to committee. It wasn't about objecting to anything. It was the detailed plan to make sure we got these things discussed, which were raised here. It would have gave us a chance to have made a better application than the one. It wasn't at that stage. It wasn't like you could turn it down because the outline plan had been agreed. It's about the detailed plan, and I think that those types of things matter.
Yeah. Okay, John.
I would say that when we oppose planning applications, it's not from whimsy or because we just don't like it. We oppose it on good planning grounds. And what concerns me is that we're putting together good cases with lots of expert help, from Catherine and others. I think what will be interesting to see is when, now that we've got the neighbourhood plan made, and we can use that a lot more as we're going to be using it on the Oakley Way development. We've got the design code and everything else. See whether that makes a difference or not. See whether our hit rate next year is better.
Okay.
To do the neighbourhood plan perhaps.
So closing this part, So somebody said that we could look at minutes, I think it was Fran, of other town councils and look at their stats. Is that what you're saying?
No,
Who would undertake that?
the unitary authority minutes.
Right, okay. And who would undertake that? Do that?
Probably.
Thank you.
No.
Big round there.
Yeah, the better way of doing it. We are asking a question. We're not doing the work. They should be able to answer the question.
Okay.
And I'm just suggesting that we ask the question. Well, it's without having to do an FRI.
Yeah.
That's the last route we should be going down. They should be able to say, for instance, that no, in the South Bucks so-and-so's committee, that area they had so many applications go to committee. And if we see there's a disproportionate amount of Buckingham applications don't go to committee, then we have a discussion about why that is.
Yeah.
But I think if we find that in Buckingham they never do go to committee, but in South Buckinghamshire they always go to committee,
Okay.
I think we get some ideas, because then we need to discuss why. But I think we don't want to ask too many questions all at once, because you want the first question. The real question comes later.
Okay.
Because you're going to skew it by the fact that we don't know what has been called in South Bucks and Reviews Committee.
Yeah. But the question I was trying to get to, Buckingham as an entity, how many applications from Buckingham went to committee in comparison to other areas? Because they would have only got there under this constitution, because 95% of the applications seem. You've called and asked things to go to committee, other people have, and they don't get to committee.
Yeah.
So the very things that you're here and we're here for is to represent our constituents. And if we can't do that, we're being blocked, and that's a democratic thing.
And that's the thing I've always said, is that the officers are employed where the councillors are elected. And when, as a resident, you vote for somebody, you're thinking that they're going to be your voice. And in actual fact, when we've come to like these meetings down there, they're not being heard, because it's officers that are being paid for their opinion that are deciding them. So yeah.
Well, I should take Roger's point that you have to have actual planning ground.
And we do try, don't we?
Yeah, I mean,
Very
one of the things I
meticulously,
do with
yeah.
new council is it's got to be, you
Yeah.
can't say, I don't like the colour of that
Yeah.
paint. You've got to say, no, it's not clearly subsidiary extension.
So are you able to put that question forward?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
We're-
we'll start with the cabinet member and he can send it to whoever thinks he.
And do we need a
We can
proposal
delegate.
for that this occasion? We don't really.
No, that's
It's not
not
voting
the
matter, is
committee's
it?
matter.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Excellent, thank you. Number 11, S10640 updates. John.
It still gobsmacks me they're going to spend £250,000 plus to put in another lane when we've already got a lane on the Stratford Road roundabout. But turning left to go down past, past the school and so on. I mean, it's just such a waste of money.
Yeah.
It is, because there already is a lane there.
Yeah.
That's a filler lane to the left. Why build another one? Honestly, why?
Catherine.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, what name was it? Caroline, yes.
I was going to bring up that very point too. If any filter lane is needed, it's on the A413. But the A422, as John has correctly said, has a filter already. Why the Buckingham Transport Plan, to go back to that, didn't recognise this is absolutely beyond belief.
They're looking at Great Hall.
And they somehow put it in writing or contracted with developers, including the one at Mains Morton. They will contribute to this filter lane. And having put it in writing that they will contribute financially to a particular policy in the transport plan, they don't seem to be able to back out of it. It's just such a waste of money.
Yeah.
And I mean, wasteful resources. Criminal, honestly.
There's nothing we can do about this matter, is there?
Except just keep
I
protesting.
thought they dropped it.
No, it was
Still
still,
there.
it was in,
Is it?
it's still in
It was 270,000.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, my chat was rolling.
The most important thing about, and we've had the discussions maybe here, Town Council Environment Committee, is that when they're doing the work on that roundabout, they're going to spend X amount on that blessed lay-by, which doesn't going to contribute anything on the stony structure roundabout. It's not going to contribute anything significant or move the traffic any greater than it does. Yet under that roundabout is the possibility to put a diversion channel to move the water under the roundabout onto the opposite side of the road, so it follows the channel down on the other side of the road and doesn't put it down into Linden Village. Because at the moment, all the drainage from that roundabout, because when they built it, Linden Village wasn't there. You know, they put the drainage from there went down to there, and it comes out by the playground area, which is one of the reasons that all the Page Hill water, because it was engineered, Page Hill was built at a time when we didn't put balancing ponds in. We didn't do all these things that new estates do. We just drained it straight into the river because that was seen as a drainage channel. So I think that we do need to. I've asked the questions elsewhere, but I'm really concerned if they do go and spend this money and don't actually, while they're digging the road up, put this diversion channel, which I think Terry Cavender was the one who.
Is this something we can address in this meeting?
Well,
I'm just
saying that the money we're spending on it, we're spending £260,000 doing nothing, which isn't going to contribute anything. It could be that money could be spent better. And maybe that's the point. At some point, we have to get them to talk to them about it. Even go down there and talk to them about it.
Going back to the point that John raised as well about this piece of road, is there anything we can do about that in this meeting other than to just say we still?
No, it wasn't just shout they're idiots.
Okay.
Capital I. Yeah.
Tom puts his special words in.
Yes, he does.
Well,
All of his words. Sorry.
can we not ask for a new transport plan? Because this was actually obviate the need for stupid bits and pieces. And just say, it's obsolete, the old transport plan, we need a new transport plan.
Which is what something discussed earlier. Wasn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. So how do we go about asking for that?
Well, is that also something that's going to come out of next month's meeting after Catherine's report?
It is actually, yeah.
Well, just
It's certainly not today's.
I think the question could be asked in advance of that is, in light of the huge changes of development since whatever, ask the question, will Buckinghamshire be reviewing the transport plan? Because if they come back and say, no, they've got no intention of reviewing it, it's all great, thank you very, very much, it's going to last you forever and a day, then that may mean that we dovetail the two decisions together and decide how we already got that positive or negative response. We can react to it better. So I would suggest that we ask the question in light of all the significant changes since the neighbourhood plan and the developments that have come forward, will they be looking to review the transport plans? And if they come back and say we've got no intention of doing it, well, when we have that discussion, a little bit more forthright, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I saw that.
Could I suggest that will wait once we've had the meeting?
Yes.
Catherine's report.
Yeah.
Everyone's happy with that?
Agenda today,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
So, are we happy we've covered everything we want to, and then move on to point 12? Rolling lists, updates only. 12.1 tree felling applications, 12.2 HMO licenses. John?
I'm intrigued by this map. I love the fact it shows a railway line. I also don't know what the red line is. It's sort of bounded by, I can't quite tell.
That's the boundary line for Ostia. That's
Maybe, no, there's like a line that goes sort of by the river and then it sort of stops at the railway line. Station Road. I mean, what's that line mean? Do we know?
And we're looking at the HMO map.
Yeah.
That is the circular walk.
Yeah, that would make sense,
It
wouldn't it?
is.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Is that taken from the maps that we give away
The
and
match we used to do, yeah.
the tourist information? I
Yeah,
thought I recognised
we
it.
haven't revised that for a long
Yeah.
time.
Mm.
But it's quite a good map to stick a lot of.
Firstly, thank you for the map. Which
I thought it was handy to see.
Yeah,
how
so-
I think that maybe this actually gives us, we do one discussion, another discussion, you can't see it. I look like that.
Good visual help.
It's visual helped me no end.
Yeah.
And I will say that in my casework, only this previous week, HMOs played a huge part of that again. Having this map means that we can keep on top of it. But I do, just to say that I think members may be good to have this map with us later in the week, because I think that I guarantee that whoever sits on the planning table is going to be getting some questions on HMOs.
Yeah.
And I think having this map there would be quite useful, whoever sits on that table.
When Roger are going to be on.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You're going to get questions on
Planning table.
HMOs.
So
What's the planning table on Thursday?
oh yeah, with me and you, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think you're going to get action. You can point to this here and
So there they are.
yeah, no, but you can say, and if they say I've got an HMO and it's not on here, it's an active conversation
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
to it.
Remember that not all HMOs need to be licensed.
One's under five, don't they?
No, the little ones don't. So there will be more, but those are the ones that have licenses, because I can check that every month.
4 or 5 people, 4 people, yeah.
But I'll make sure that Trip's got a copy for the meeting.
You know, but I think it's a great document, and maybe at some point in the future we I suggest that we actually make it public.
The public register is available on the county's website. It's quite easy to find.
Unless
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
public
This is a
document.
public document.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, people don't
Yeah,
read it.
can I just express some astonishment that 17 places in the 25-26 West Street? It sounds overcrowded.
Yes, no,
Is that to do with Villiers?
the West Street ones, the flats over the shops.
Right.
Yeah, there are 17
West
flats
Street.
there.
Yes, because the old bakery's got at least 4.
Yes, okay.
And then you've
Yeah.
got the little shop, used to be the motorist shop, and is now sort of convenience store. And then you get right up to the corner with flats over all of them.
Yeah, there are.
Is this the one with painted ceilings?
These are nice as there.
Has anyone go and check on that?
It's Esquires, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about the squires, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the Squires, the one with the painted
Yeah.
ceiling.
Yeah, above that.
I have no idea whether.
I mean,
anybody
we got
else-
quite exercised about it being a let property when these paintings are irreplaceable.
I think I can ask if how often they're inspected and whether
It'd be a good
the
idea.
paintings are in good nick.
Somebody I know, sorry, Chair, went in there. He asked, it was a couple of years ago, whoever owns a restaurant, took him up there, saying they're still there.
I was taken up there about 5, 6 years ago.
Yeah,
I think I looked at them once, many years ago.
but it's worth, I think it's worth,
It's worth
because
asking.
it's
Brenda
part
about.
of the actual page itself. It's why it was upgraded to 2-star, particularly because of those wall paintings.
So is that part of the Esquires building, or is that part of the flats?
Part of flats, isn't it?
That's good.
So the wall paintings are in a room that is let.
Exactly.
Yes, but part of the HMO.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoever owns the building is responsible
Yeah.
for their upkeep.
Yeah.
And preservation.
And then sort of
Yes.
doing the stops on them.
Preservation is very important.
Should we move on to 13? Matters to reports? Right.
Sorry, it's not really a matter to report. I've just had a message from Councillor Draper. She sends her apologies.
she absented herself from the committee.
She's on the thing. She's sent her apologies anyway. Yeah.
Any other matters? Robin?
Just like to say, there's been a lot of useful information tonight. The details of the work that Catherine's done, auditing where we were on the planning. Thank you very much. The map that we've produced and the and where we are going forward. I think we should mean our thanks to Catherine for producing all that stuff, because it takes a lot of doing, and it will be really important to us in the next 12 to 18 months, having that information. And I think we should record our thanks for that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you, Catherine.
Chair's announcements, obviously we've got the meeting on Thursday, haven't we? The annual town meeting.
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. I'll be at work until
Well, it
6:30.
was Wednesday. Yeah.
No, it's Thursday. It's always on my work day, John, always. Everything is.
6 to
And is that right that you're bringing cake?
Cake. I bet I'm not allowed to eat it, so no.
I must be Thursday then.
We voted that for you, Robin.
Was it me? I've got to bring
We
cake.
voted it.
Double check, it is happening on Thursday.
It's Thursday, yeah. It has been Thursday.
Yeah, 6 till 8.
The League of Friends, yeah, well.
Huh?
Yeah, this stuff last year as well.
It's Thursday last year.
I don't know why I've got to get my damage ones in there. Apologies.
So we're hopeful.
Date of next meeting, date of next meeting, Monday the 20th
Noted.
of April,
Yeah.
following interim